Hi guys, you're watching Arc Habitu, especially for young innovative minds. In this video, we are going to do some model questions from both part A and part B. So in this, I have included two physics and two chemistry and one maths question and one arithmetic aptitude question and one simple reasoning question and two part A questions. Okay, so let's begin. This is our part A first question. Now, this is a sample question I made, um, which I feel to be convenient for NATA new syllabus because in our mock test dated 21st August, we got a question like this: to choose appropriate terms which represents the given figure. So this is a figure and we need to choose uh, three most appropriate terms which will define this figure. Okay, first option is sovereignty, second balance, third is centralization, and fourth is erecting a monument, fifth is slavery, sixth is unity, and seventh is texture. So what you feel? Actually, the photographer gave a title for this, and that was erecting a monument, but we can feel it in another way, like someone is balancing the other through unity. Okay, and we can see the texture of a wood and the texture of a wall, so it can also represent texture. So this is actually a discussing question. Okay, we can discuss with this. Do comment what you feel by this figure. Many different views can be made, so you can comment what you feel and we will get to a decision, the most appropriate one. Okay, so these things are really confusing because we can't stand by the most appropriate one from the a bulk of options given. Okay, so the next question is again a question like that. We need to choose the two most appropriate terms for this figure: desire, prison, solution, survival, out of the box, freedom, etc. So this again is up to you. You can choose and we will reach to a conclusion of which is the appropriate term to represent this. The photographer who posted this picture has given the title desire. Okay, so moving on to part B questions. You can try it yourself and then go for solution. So pause the video and try it yourself, then again come to the video. So we can check these figures one by one. The question asks to complete the series. Okay, now the first figure, we can clearly see what is the difference between first and second figures. Here one of the dot vanishes and a complete black dot enters into the scenario. Okay, now in the third figure, what is the difference between second and third figures? Again one of the from here one vanishes and again one dark color circle enters. The same thing happens in the fourth figure. So we can really do the next figure by ourselves. So what will be the next figure? Here we have reached 3 dark circles. So to the next figure we will get 4 dark circles. So we have 3 options likewise. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 blank circles. So what is the series followed by the empty circles? 1 vanishes again and again when the series proceeds. So in this figure we have 6 empty circles. So in the next figure or fifth figure we will end up with 5 empty circles. So what will be the correct option? Option D will be the correct. Okay. Now the next question is based on arithmetic aptitude. We can check this, but before going to the solution, pause the video and try it yourself. Okay. Now coming to the question. The question asks us, in a particular year, month of January had exactly 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays. On which day of week did January 1st occur in the year? Okay, what was the question? In a particular year, when we look the calendar, we saw 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays exactly. Okay, so the January 1st of that calendar will be which day of the week? Okay, let's check one by one. In January we have 31 days. Okay, now if we start with Sunday, and we are calculating odd days. Okay, in every calendar problem we need to calculate odd days. Okay, for 31 complete days, how many complete weeks will be there? So we will divide it by 7 and we will get the answer what? 4. Okay, there are 4 complete weeks and 3 extra days. Okay, these 3 extra days is what we call as odd days. So these odd days will be which of the days of the week? So we started from Sunday. So the first extra day will be Monday, second extra day will be Tuesday, and third extra day will be Wednesday. Clear? Now, if we end up with extra Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday more than the 4 weeks, okay, so in these 4 weeks we have already got Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday 4 times, and again we will get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So in that particular year, January will have 5 Mondays, 5 Tuesdays and 5 Wednesdays, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday will be only 4. Okay, what the question asks? 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays. Okay, we need 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays. So what will be the answer? If we start with Sunday as January 1st, we will end up with 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays. Sorry, I made a mistake. There were 3 odd days. Okay, we started with Sunday. So Sunday will be the first extra day. Okay, Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. So we will get 5 Sundays, 5 Mondays and 5 Tuesdays. So when we start with Sunday, we will not end up with 4 Sundays. Okay, and the next thing is Monday. When we start with Monday, again Monday will be there will be 3 extra days, and Monday will be the starting day of these 3 extra days. Okay, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday will be the extra days. So in this case, we will end up with 4 Sundays and 4 Thursdays. So the correct option will be Monday. Okay. When we start our year January 1st with Monday, we will end up with 4 Thursdays and 4 Sundays exactly. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. This is a question from Structure of Atom Chemistry. Which one of the following sets of contact numbers is correct for an electron in 4f orbit? Okay. Now this is a question based on quantum numbers. In the given question, we have 4f orbital. N represent shell number. Okay. Principal contact number. So this will be 4. In this case, so we can exclude this D option. Second thing is azimuthal contact number, that is L. What will be the L values? L values will be ranging from L value will be ranging from 0 to N. Okay, so for S subshell, N is equal to 0. P subshell, N is equal to 1, D, N is equal to 2, and F, N is equal to 3. So N will be 3. So we can exclude L will be 3. L will be 3. Okay. So we can exclude this option also. Now we are left with these two options. We can check. Now coming to M, magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number values will vary from minus L through 0 to L plus L. Okay. So here minus L will be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the possible M values. We can't have plus 4. So we can exclude this option also. Now we are left with C option, which is the correct answer. Okay. Now the next question is also from chemistry. In van der Waals equation of state for a non-ideal gas, the term that accounts for intermolecular forces is. We have studied van der Waals equation like this: P plus Na by V square into V minus Nb is equal to nRT for n moles, and we have P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT for 1 mole of gas, ideal gas. So in this question asks which of the term accounts for intermolecular forces. Okay, now we need to have a definite understanding of what the constants added extra by van der Waals. So A and B are the extra constants included by van der Waals. So what does A and B mean? B is a term or constant representing size of the gaseous molecules, and A is the term representing intermolecular forces. So greater the A, greater will be intermolecular forces. So the term which represents the intermolecular forces will be the first term, P plus A by V square. Okay, that will be C option. Now the next question is from physics. Two spherical conductors A and B of radii 1 millimeter and 2 millimeter are separated by distance of 5 centimeter and are uniformly charged. If the spheres are connected by conducting wire, then in equilibrium condition, the ratio of magnitude of electric fields at surface of spheres A and B will be. So, for a spherical conductor, we have the formula of electric field as EA is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 QA by RA square for the first conductor, and second EB is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into QB by RB the whole square. Okay, we have these equations, but with these equations we can't reach to an answer because we are not given QA and QB. We only know RA and RB. So we need to convert all these into the radius. Okay. We have another formula that Q is equal to CV. So putting this into the previous equations, we have EA is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 CAV. This potential will be same as they are connected and divided by RA square, and similarly it will be the case with EB. And now we need to proceed with the term CA. We have another equation CA is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R A for a spherical conductor. Okay, this is an important formula. So we can substitute this CA with this. Okay. Now what we will get? EA is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 RA into 4 pi epsilon 0 into V, which is common for both, and by RA the whole square. Cancelling this and this, EA is equal to V by RA and EB will be equal to V by RB. Okay. Now we need to find EA by EB. EA by EB will be equal to RB by RA. And what is RB by RA? From the question we get 2 millimeter by 1 millimeter, and this will be equal to 2:1, which is D option. Okay. Next question is also from physics. If the de Broglie wavelengths associated with a proton and alpha particle are equal, then the ratio of velocities of proton and alpha particle will be. This is a question from modern physics. Now we have de Broglie's equation as lambda is equal to h by p or h by mv. Now for a proton this will be h by mp into Vp, and for alpha particle this will be h by m alpha into V alpha. In the question given that these wavelengths are equal, so we can equate the right hand sides. So we will get this as h by mp into Vp is equal to h by m alpha into V alpha. Now we need to find Vp by V alpha. This will be equal to m alpha divided by mp. And how can we relate m alpha and mp? M alpha or mass of alpha particle will be equal to 4 times the mass of proton. So we will get the ratio as 4:1. Okay. Now the next question is from Max differential equations. Go through the question. I will give you the solution. So we have x into dy by dx plus 2y is equal to x square. Now dividing throughout by x, we will get dy by dx plus 2y by x is equal to x. Now we have the formula of integrating factor as e raised to integral 2 by x dy, 2 by x dx. So this will be x square. Okay, and the solution will be integrating factor into y will be equal to integrating factor into y will be equal to integral of x into integrating factor. So x square into y is equal to integral of x square into x. Now we will end up with x square into y is equal to x raised to 4 divided by 4 plus constant of integration. Okay, now we reached up to this. Y into x square is equal to x raised to 4 by 4 plus c. We are given y of 1 is equal to 1. So y will be equal to, or this constant of integration, when we substitute y with 1 and x with 1, we will get as 3 by 4. And final equation will be this: y is equal to x square by 4 plus 3 by 4 x square. And we need to find y of 1 by 2. Substituting x with 1 by 2, we will get 49 by 16. Okay, so that's all with the session. I'm concluding this. So do support for these videos, do subscribe to my channel, comment and hit the like button. Thank you.